Cassie, hey, Mary, what's up? How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks everybody sending gifts. Keely, what's up? Nice to see you there. Welcome in. If this is your first Wednesday, what we're going to do here is in a couple minutes, our friend Sarah Lemos is going to join us. She's also a very talented and amazing medium. She's going to hop in a box with us, and then we're going to have some of you other folks come in here, and you're going to get to ask myself and Sarah Lemos any of your questions about mediumship or psychic development, okay? So as soon as Sarah's in here, she can say hi, and then I'll instruct her to hit the guest button, and we'll have her come in. What's up? Wow, it's Wednesday. I didn't even realize. Welcome to the club. It's been a very crazy week here. Hey, what's up, Barbie? Nice to see you there. Welcome in. How are you doing? Emily, what's up? How are you? Lisa Ann, hello. Hi, Lisa from Wisconsin. Nice to see you there. Itty Bitty there. Faith, what's up? Sam, hello, hello. Pure Energy Apothecaries in the house. How are you? You saw Sarah. You saw Sarah at Gettysburg and was too scared to say hi. Oh no! You should have said hello. Hey, Chris, what's up, man? Going to a big music festival this weekend. Cool, man. Congrats. Hi there, Sarah. So, Sarah, do me a favor. Click the guest button. I'm going to bring you up. And then we're going to have a couple other people come in. And they can meet you virtually and ask questions and all those sorts of things. Actually, I could probably hit this button right here. Let's see if it'll let me. Who knows? Hi. What's up? Karen is in the house. What's up, Karen? How are you? How you been? I hope you're doing good. Oh, thanks for the elephant bells. Ooh, that was dirty. Diana, what's up? Nice to see you there. Kaylee, subscribers only. That's correctamundo. I know Sarah knows how to do this. She's playing now. Let me look down here if I can find her. Invite. All right, Sarah, I sent you an invite. Hopefully this will help you. You just find a little circle, click it, and come on in. Ooh, there she is. Now we're going to change the layout so we are equal up on here. Let me see. How do I do that, though? That's a good question. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Expand.
Ooh.
Okay. Where's Sarah? There she is. Do I have your volume?
I think so.
There we go. I do. Welcome on.
This is interesting and new.
Yeah, we're gonna, this is how it be.
All right.
So everybody, if you don't know, this is our wonderful friend, Sarah Lemos. She has been globetrotting recently. She's been all over the place. Busy. And, she's here with us now. Who here knows Sarah? Everybody show a show of hands. I know a bunch of you do because you've been here for a long time. How you been, Sarah?
Good. How have you been? How's life treating you?
Tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Working. But other than that, very good.
Good.
So on Wednesdays, we started this new thing where we bring our subscribers up and they get to be in the box and they get to ask us questions, while we're hanging out.
I love that.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I'm not gonna chat.
Just make sure when you come in, you mute the microphone and we'll call on you. Very good. I think we got a bunch of people in here. I keep trying to accept some people and it's taking its time. There we go. Let's see. Who else here? Accept the rune. Accept. I'm just accepting anybody who was first up. And we'll put them in the box. All right. There we go. So, look at that. We got some of our lovely moderators. We'll let everybody ask one quick question each or just say hello if that's what they would like to do. And then I'm going to have them rotate out of the box. So I want to get a lot of people in.
This is so flippin' cool.
Isn't it neat? And when we're done, I'll teach you how to do it. That way you can do this with your friends.
This is awesome.
Neat, right? All right, let's see. I got 2 more boxes and then we'll start going down the line. Accept. And accept. And then we'll start. Okay, accept. Okay, I think we'll get everybody now. Okay, so starting. Kaylee Stubbins, one of our lovely moderators. What would you like to ask or talk to Sarah about?
I have no idea. Scotty kind of was not expecting this. You kind of just kind of put this on me.
You're so cute. You want to just say hi to Sarah?
Hi, I guess I really don't.
Oh, well, hello.
Look, you guys have something in common. You both wear glasses. And you're both adorable.
I'm autistic. I'm the youngest one on the team, basically.
Yep, she's a huge help around here. She does so much for us, and she's been with me a really long time, so it's a valuable part of our team here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So say hi, Kaylee. Don't be shy. Sarah doesn't bite.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Am I putting you on the spot, Kaylee?
I love this Scotty.
All right. We'll go talk to Ashley. No problem. Nice to see you, Kaylee. Thanks so much for the orange jewels. All right. Let's see, Ashley. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Anything you want to ask Miss Lemos about?
Mine, it was one that I was wanting to ask last week, but I didn't get a chance to. It's basically about, little kids, seeing spirit.
Yeah.
So my youngest, she is 2, and I think she's just starting to kind of get into like seeing things that like I can't see.
Okay.
Is it normal for them to like not understand what they're saying? Because she would always like, I'm in my game room / library, so you can see the books behind me. She would stand by my chair and look up towards the ceiling, and she would just constantly be like, "Hi, Avery. Hi, Kaylin." Like those are like her brother and sisters. She would like say hi to them and say, "Come on, let's go," but like she would say them as her siblings.
That's really interesting, and that makes a lot of sense, right? Because we trust our siblings, and if we're seeing something and we don't know exactly what it is, that's a great way of communicating. We do find that little ones can see spirit till when they're right around 5 or 6, and the suggestion is because we're seeing more from our peripheral vision. So little ones' eyes aren't affixed completely yet. Sometimes we don't get our color of our eyes, or our eyes don't actually affix correctly until we're about 5 years old. So we're able to see spirit until about 5. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to continue to see spirit.
Right.
But yeah, that's what we do see. And I've had some really emotional phone calls from parents when their kid's like 5 or 6 years old and they can't see Nana anymore, but Nana's been dead for 30 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just thought it was weird because like none of my other kids have done that. And then one day she's just like, for almost a week straight, she would just look in like random parts of rooms and be like, "Hi, Avery. Hi, Kaylee." I'm like, they're at school. They're not here. Why are you saying hi to them?
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, for me, I think it's exciting. I mean,
well, like I knew that what she was seeing. I'm just like, that's not who you're seeing, obviously, because they're in school and they're not going to be on the ceiling.
No, that's true.
At least I hope not.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's beautiful, and all you can do is support, right? Mm-hmm. I always tell parents, you don't want to lead them into anything, but you want to support them in it. So, asking too many questions can be overwhelming for little ones, but like you were like, "Oh, who's that?" That's perfect.
Right. Cause I did that with my son. He only did it for maybe, I want to say like a week, 2 weeks, but he randomly started playing with like, called it his like imaginary friend. And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's your friend's name?" And you say, "James." "Well, James wants to do this." "Well, James wants to do this." I'm like, okay. But it only happened for like a week or 2 weeks and then it stopped.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, so, very interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting.
All right, cool. Cool story, and thanks. That was interesting. So I think
very good question.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks, Ashley. All right, moving on down the line. Spirit Sponge, what's up?
What's going on?
Would you like to ask Miss Sarah Lemos a question?
Actually, well, okay. So I had an experience today. So I'm currently in Canada. I'm in Revelstoke, Canada, and we went to the Three Valley Bridge this morning. But we went to this like ghost town, and they had this train that they said was haunted. Now they have it set up for Halloween already as like a haunted walk through train. And I went in by myself and I figured for fun, I'll videotape it. But I'm also a developing medium. And I don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me or if I actually sensed spirit, because I can kind of tell when spirit's around, like the top of my head
Tingles.
will tingle. But it doesn't, like, I guess in a sense I don't have like my spirit radar on. Aside from meditating, do you have any other suggestions on how to connect to spirit? Like if you think that something is haunted and you want to see if you can communicate with someone, like what's the best way to do it without sitting down to meditate?
One of my favorite ways is get my hands on things. So I will touch the railroad place itself. I'll touch the walls. I will get as close as I can to the energy itself in the area. I also will I wear different crystals or things like that might support me and help me in connection to spirit. I also will roll up my sleeves. Because I want to feel, I'm a feeler, as you can tell. But I will roll up my sleeves. That way it's easier to touch me or connect to my physical skin. And I am a talker. So I'm like, hey, is anybody here? Because I want to talk. So, and I know sometimes when there's people around, you can't verbally say it, but you can think it. Hey guys, I'm here. Let's rock and roll. And I think you're probably a claircog and knower. So there's probably a good chance you're getting a lot of information through your thoughts. So just taking a deep breath. If you have a piece of paper and pen, getting some of this information out so spirit can also see that you are listening. Those are a few things that I would suggest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I made sure I was by myself. I made sure I was by myself because I'm traveling with a group of people. It's a work trip. So I didn't want to just put it out there and be like, hey guys, I'm a paranormal investigator. So I'm going to go check out this haunted rail car. I'll be back in 20 minutes. So, and then have people look at me like I have 3 heads.
Yeah.
But I actually did catch some orbs on one of the rooms, and I talked to a worker there who had been there for 20 years, and they had this one animatronic little girl that would sing, and her eyes would light up red. It's strictly for Halloween. It's one of those Halloween decorations. But she's like, it started going off recently, and we can't figure out how to turn it off. It doesn't have batteries in it. It just continuously goes through its cycle.
That's
and these things are generally motion censored, and as soon as I walked onto the train, and where this was placed on the train car was towards the front of the train car, and I had to go around a corner through part of the train, and as soon as I walked through the first room, I was just going off, continuing. I have a video of it because I was like, oh, let me record this for prosperity. But it just kept going off. It just kept going off. And I was like, and of course, me as an investigator, I always want to try to debunk everything.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, okay, maybe it's the vibration of me walking. Let me slow my pace down, But I was literally the only one in the rail car. And I stood there, and it went off, and then it stopped. And then it immediately kicked right back on. And I wasn't moving. I was standing completely still in front of it, just holding my phone recording. And it stopped for maybe 3 seconds. And it just started the cycle again. And
That's
then
amazing. Because you have to think, okay, one, it's a rail car. So the energy there, many investigators know that railroads, rail cars, very easily haunted or spirited because the energy that up and down, back and forth energy over and over again. And then if it is decorated like a haunted house and they have people run in through there, they're screaming, and a scream and fear, bursts of energy is definitely something that they can use, I would suggest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
agree.
incredible, hon.
Yeah, because the woman's like, she goes, we've had paranormal investigation teams come through here, and none of them have made it all the way through that rail car without turning around and going back. And I said, my nickname is Spirit Sponge. So I kind of just absorb everything and just unleash it in different ways. So like, it doesn't make me feel unsettled. Like, it's kind of like welcoming in a sense. Like, it's comforting, if that sounds like weird, but to me, like, going into a haunted location is like comforting to me. I don't know.
Absolutely. When it's your place and space, why not? It's a playground for some of us.
Yep. All right, Spirit Sponge, thanks so much. I'm going to move on down the line. I'll make sure I get lots of people to talk. We have Mary up next time. Mary?
Hi, can you hear me?
100%. How are you?
Awesome. I'm good. I've never done this before. It's something new.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Exactly. So I just was curious. Several times I've been to places that have been considered haunted, and after I've gotten home, I just have energy that has stuck with me, and to the point where I just like feel yucky. So I just kind of have always just said, please just go away, let me be, and it seems to work. But how do is it that it's bad energy, or is it that they're trying to communicate with me and I'm just not reading the signal right? Or am I reading my body, like how my body feels is probably appropriate?
Oh, always, Mary. Always trust what you get. I think that's really important. And I love that you're stating an intention. You're telling the energy to go if it doesn't feel right to you. I would always suggest doing that at the location if you can remember to tell the energy to stay here. And I can't help but think that when we go into these places, we're not dipping our toe in the water, right? And so energetically, we're connecting, even if we're not directly having a conversation. And sometimes that residual or that energy that's on the physical body can be noted when we leave. And so using something like an intention to ask it to leave, or using a piece of selenite is really great to physically hold and send that energy back to the planet. Or using a sea salt scrub for your hands can be very helpful also.
Oh, thank you. I will look into all those things. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a great question, Mary. Thanks. Interfere, what's up?
I was wondering, tagging on Spirit Sponge's question, how, if you want to release, tell people you know around you that you are gifted, how do you start that kind of a conversation?
Oh.
Yeah, I think that, a lot of times it's interesting how we are as humans. We share a lot, which is just fine. But I think this should be something that's earned. My story should be earned. It should be something that's trusted. And so I definitely share it with people that are like-minded at first, or families that, I know, how they may react, or I am ready for their reaction, because it's already so difficult for us, I would suggest, to say, hey, I'm a psychic medium, right? To our closest friends, let alone strangers, right? Because we're scared of the repercussions. So I say always tell those you trust the most and that have earned that opportunity.
That's a good idea. Because I was like, what do you do? How do you do that?
No, I think that's great. And then also opening up with a story. I think, a lot of times we, as humans, like information, so we're not scared. So the more information you gift or give, the better it's probably going to come across, because the person has an idea of what happened at the haunted location, or, these are the things you like to do, and sharing it that way can be a little bit easier too.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks a lot, Sarah.
You bet, honey.
Good job. All right, let's see what else we got up here. Brassel? Am I saying it right? Brassel? Brazil? This person. Are you there? All right, don't know where they went. All right. Let's see. Nicole Lynn.
So I got a multi-question / story. First off, wondering if you think like children could be like reincarnated from relatives from before. Is that a thing?
So the idea that my son or my daughter who just had a child is my great-great-grandfather?
Kind of. My daughter I found out I was pregnant about 6 months after my mom died. And I've been living in this house now for about going on 4 years. And she started seeing her, as far as I know, and other grandparents as soon as I moved into this house. She didn't see them when she was in the other house, but she was also about 2-ish in the other house. So she was just getting to that age where she was seeing things. Well, when I moved into this house, she started saying, Mama, Grandpa's in the hallway, or Grandma's standing over there by the TV. She's never met any one of these. They all died at least, 6 months to 30 years before she was born. And I'm like, oh, Grandpa, well, who's Grandpa? And she would say their names. And she's never met them before. I've showed her pictures. I'll show multiple different pictures. She'll pick out who it is, and she'll say their names. She's now 5 and hasn't done it really recently, but she's still kind of like scared to go into rooms by herself. One time that really freaked me out is she came and laid in bed with me, and she pointed to my closet, and she goes, Mama, Grandma's in there, and she wants you to come play with her. And I got goosebumps all the way up my body. It freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that children can see, like I said before, absolutely. To what extent, I don't know. And remember, they're being able to communicate with the words that they have, the experiences that they have in this lifetime. So I think it's amazing that she was picking up names and all of those things. I would honor it. I would be like, oh, wow, Grandma, that's cool, because I don't want to deny that in my child by any means. And I do, like I said, there's many, many stories of people experiencing this exact same thing with their little ones. But same thing. Yeah. So I would say yes, that makes sense.
Okay. And she would actually, me and my mother didn't get along. She actually used to say swear words that my mother would used to call me as a kid. And I go, what did you just say? And she would repeat it exactly the same way my mom used to say it. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest though so you said something about reincarnation. I wouldn't suggest that would mean that that's her. It could very well just mean that she's hearing it.
Yeah, well, it was just kind of weird because I suffered with infertility for about 8 years, and then magically, right after my mom dies, I get pregnant, and it's like, wow, so it was just incredible. Like, I was just like, it's kind of a weird coincidence, 8 years of not, preventing pregnancy, actually trying, seeing for specialists and all this, and then all of a sudden this happens. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Sounds like a blessing.
Yeah, it's great, but it just kind of freaks me out once in a while. I have automatic lights here, and I'll turn them on and I'll walk away and they'll turn back off. Actually, one night Scotty was doing readings for people, and there was basically like a postcard, sounded just like my mother, and someone else claimed it, but I was listening to it, and that light was going on and off and on and off, and I'm like, oh my God.
Wow, that's incredible.
It freaked me out a little bit, so I think she's
would have freaked me out too.
Yeah, so I'm
awesome.
not scared, but it just makes me nervous because it kind of sometimes scares my daughters, so I don't want her to be scared of them, but...
Nope, and knowing that she has a mama like you that she can turn to is a very good thing, sweetie, so keep up the good work.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
For sure, great. Let's see, before we get to the next person, if there's anybody who's looking to come and hang out up on the box with us, please do me a favor. Just hit the request down on the guest button. As you can see, you don't have to turn your camera on. We just need to hear your lovely, lovely voices. All right, so do that. Make sure you can see Sarah's lovely and answering all your questions like a professional that she is. And we'll do that. All right, so make sure you're coming in, and then we'll get on to the next question here, all right? Lisa with a Q is up next. What's up, Lisa?
Hey, Scotty. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, honey.
So I came across this actually when I was scrolling through TikTok earlier, made me kind of wonder myself. And someone had asked, if you shed your skin, your body after you die, how do you recognize other souls? Like in your soul group or your soul family, if your body's gone.
Have you ever been standing looking out the window and your loved one comes up behind you and you didn't even open up your eyes and you knew it was Johnny, right? I think we have an innate knowing. I think we know our people. I think that's why when we meet one of our people, we can look across the room and go, how do I know you? But I know you. And I haven't even said hello to you yet. I think it's that knowing.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Because the person that was answering it said something similar, but then I was thinking, but if you've already passed and you come back, reincarnated or whatever, I feel like I always assumed you kind of shed all memories of before. So I kind of wondered how that would even happen, like sensing somebody if it's whatever you would have sensed now is kind of from the previous life, how do you still sense it in the next one?
I think because there's carvings on walls in caves, and even though I may not understand it, I can understand the basis of it, right? So it's in the energy. Man, I wish I could explain this better. It's in the energy itself. This is a really good question. Because I don't think all things are wiped clean. I personally don't. I think that there is energies and memories in each one of us that will stay true and stay forever. Maybe not what my favorite candy bar was, but, my friendships and, things that were dear to me, I think will stay locked in those memories. And I feel like as a psychic medium, one of the gifts that I get, I may not know exactly how I do it, but I'm able to unlock that energy and be able to communicate for that energy.
Awesome. Yeah, don't forget, not only that, but we have this other cool thing that we talk about. It's called the Akashic Records. Everything about us is stored there, beginning, middle, and end, infinity, whatever it might be at the very end of the rope there. So we're always intertwined with each other. We know each other's stories. We belong to each other in some way or another. So it's just one of those things when you talk about reincarnation, coming back, how do you recognize each other? I think it's funny in my own life, my birth mom passed away and somehow I ended up at the family that I definitely belonged with, which is interesting. And I think that happened for a reason. If it didn't, I wouldn't be here talking to you like this, most likely. So maybe my mom who gave birth made a contract with me that she was going to bring me here. And then the other half of the contract was somebody else was going to raise me and make sure I got the things in life I should. So there are arrangements made before we come. We have all these cool notes that are already in place for us that help us go along from each time to each time. And you've hugged people or shook hands with people and said, "Damn, I know you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've done it, right? Or made fast friends with somebody and you're like, "We've been friends forever, right?" And you're like, 2 weeks? No, not quite. So it's all part of it's that energy. It's that knowing. It's that clairsentience. It's awesome. So that's a good question, though. Don't let it freak you out too much, though. Don't go into that existential dread thinking about those sorts of things.
You sent me on a rabbit hole with that whole topic.
No, it was awesome. I think I'm going to be thinking about it late tonight.
He made me go all the way back to wondering, how did the original life start? Remember, I asked you that, Scotty. I was like, what happened? Where does the original life come from? That starts all the other ones that we reincarnate from. Rabbit hole, because of Scotty.
There's all kinds of cool, big thoughts like that. I don't have any answers for it. If I did, I would be not here. I'd be somewhere with mountains of money jet skis, and all kinds of cool stuff.
Skis.
I don't know why jet skis. I don't even like
That was awesome. And jet skis.
Gotta have jet skis.
Yeah, at least 2.
Thanks there, Lisa. Appreciate you.
So nice to talk to you, Sarah.
Nice to talk to you, sweetheart.
Next down the line, we have one of our lovely, lovely friends, Pure Energy Apothecary, official sponsor here. Hi, Dawn.
Suck me into these things.
Whoa.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Scotty. I am actually here because we have Amy Lynn who wants to know, how is it that I am more easily able to be visited by random spirits than it is for her to actually connect with specific ones that she's looking to connect with?
Sometimes layers of acceptance. I think that, if we're more comfortable with random, because random just means I do this, this, and this, it's going to happen more frequently because Spirit's trying to stretch you and grow you and get you where you need to be. And then I think because some of us are scared to maybe communicate with, be able to call on somebody and what if we see something that scares us? What if we hear something that scares us? So I think our fear, I think my answer would be fear. And, that we accept what we can, and sounds like you're gifted. It's just not ready to move to the next step, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would say
really
it's probably because of fear.
Boy, Amy Lynn, I hope that answered your question for you, and thanks for being here with us, Sarah. We definitely enjoy it. And everybody feed that donate meter. You'll get a chakra bracelet.
All right. Who do we got here next? Emily. What's up, Emily? How are you?
Hello? Am I?
You're on.
Hi. So I have 2 questions, but they go together, I think. Number one, my mom passed in November and my dad just passed a couple of weeks ago. And I have so desperately wanted to be able to talk to both of them from this, from wherever they are, this spirit side. And there's like nothing, it's just static, nothing there. I have had, so that's kind of the first thing, but then the other thing, I have had these dreams, where, I'm with them in my dreams, but, it's like not the right version. And then like things go terribly wrong. And then the dream ends. I wake myself up out of the dream. So I don't know if that's a version of something that like a hurdle or something that I need to kind of, something's in the way, or so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there.
No, sweetie. So please know that your mom and dad are absolutely trying to communicate with you. There's no question or doubt. I mean, why wouldn't they, but the thing is that, when I believe, this is Sarah's personal opinion, 0 to 6 months is a very much a transition time, definitely 0 to 3 months. Okay. And they are at a different frequency that I think it's more physical than it is spiritual. And this is the best way I can do this. And so please know that they're, when they visit in your dreams, a lot of times too, it's, I am here, but I'm not manipulating the dream. So we also as humans are trying to deal with their death, right? And you probably feel like mom and dad went in a way that was not fair, or, it was heartbreaking. So in your dreams, it's kind of playing that out, right? So it's happening not in the exact way they crossed, but in a way that you could understand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. My mom got a diagnosis of cancer and then was gone 3 months later. And at the same time, my dad got his diagnosis of Alzheimer's. And after mom passed, he just went. He was like, no, thanks. I'm not doing life without her. So he was gone 9 months later. So absolutely, I think that's part of it. Yeah, for sure. And that helps. That helps me understand a little bit of because I understand there is this sort of transition time of giving them time to cross over to the land of the ancestors. And so I think I just will be patient.
Yeah, I think with your dad, you said stepdad, or is this your biological father?
Biological dad.
Yeah. So with him, he's keeps touching your back. So if you have sensations and touching in the back, this is, I would suggest, your dad. And then also your mother keeps putting your hair, like she keeps putting your hair behind your ear. So I know they're there with you. Also, she keeps pulling on a necklace and playing with a necklace. So something to do with something around your neck. But they are absolutely with you, honey. They're absolutely. And do you have a cat?
I have two, yeah.
Yeah, they're seeing this energy. So if you see one of the cats acting real goofy, just know it's family visiting for sure.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, honey.
Cats. Am I right?
Cats.
I love cats. I can't have any cats. I'm so allergic, but I love watching cat videos.
Oh, they're the best.
That was a really good question, Emily. Thank you. And say hello to your cats for me. Tell them I said pss, 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 pss. Okay. Outside the lines. Oh, no, wait, hold on. I want to go in order. Georgia Girl was here next. Georgia Girl.
Hi.
Hello.
I part of my question was answered earlier. I was going to ask a question, but I have another question. I have seen spirits since I was very young. I have always been very afraid of them, like to the point, like if I seen one, I would like hide under the covers. My peepaw used to, which is my dad's dad, used to come to my room every night. I would hide under the covers.
Yep.
I would like tell them to go away. So like my whole family knows that I've always been afraid of this, because it's like when I least expect it. Like if I walk into a house, it can be a house I've never been into. My sister had moved in with her new husband in his old farmhouse, and we went in and we went down this long hallway and opened the door, and there was this old lady in there, and she's like, "Get out of my room." And I just ran out of the house, and for some reason I went left instead of right the way I came in, and I ended up going through this kitchen. Thank goodness there was a door on the other side of the kitchen that went back into the living room, because I'd have probably ran out the window. But I ran out the front door and across the road, and my new brother-in-law was like, "Oh, she's crazy, that that spirits aren't real and all this stuff." So I sat down and I told him, I was like, I described the old lady that was in the room to a T, and he's like, "That is my grandma." There is no way, because like his grandma had passed away like 15 years before I'd ever met him. It was the first time I'd ever been to his home, so it wasn't like I'd ever seen a picture or anything. And I said, "But there was a little girl," and I described her, and he's like, "I don't know about the little girl." So like a week later, he was talking to his mom, and his mom just broke down crying. This is another reason I don't like to do these things, because then his mom had to tell him that he had a sister, and she was in that kitchen mopping, and the little sister was playing with the pots and pans. And that's what I told him. She's sitting in the corner right here playing with the pots and pans whenever I came through the kitchen. And back then his mom would mop into a 5-gallon bucket of water, and she had run into the other room to grab the phone, because back then it was on the wall, corded. And his sister, who was just a little over a year old, had fallen over into the bucket and drowned.
Oh,
and
dang.
So like that was like like his mom had never told any of the other kids about any of that, because they none of them had even been born yet. So she didn't want to like burden them with that, I guess, or whatever. But I guess my question is, how can I, like, before I walk into people's houses, is there a way to like keep the spirits away? Because I mean, like, now I want to connect. My dad passed away October 25th of last year. My mom just passed away May 9th. I can't, like, they don't come and see me.
No, honey, they won't.
Because they know I'm scared. I think it's because they know I'm scared.
It's a little bit different. I don't know about you, Scotty, but I don't get to see my family members. I get to see other people's. I get to have interaction with as many people as I want to, but my loved ones, it's a different story.
I've seen all my other loved ones. Like, the only ones I haven't seen was like my favorite cousin, Pleasure. She was like my sister, my cousin, my best friend all in one, and then my mom and dad. But like my grandparents and my cousins and aunts and uncles, I've seen all of them.
Well, great. So then it sounds like then there's a good chance you'll see the other ones too. I would say when it comes to your question about, can you shut it down before going into a house?
Yeah.
If so, it's not one that there's not like, you can state an intention. Mm-hmm. You can, focus on other things. But ultimately, if we, as a psychic medium, know when we're in their space and place, most of the time we're going to see them or perceive them.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Crazy story, by the way.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I have like people, numerous people will be like, "Oh, this isn't so," and my sister would be like, "No, my sister's legit," and to the point that my sister has been like, "Hey, can you come to my friend's house? Their mom passed away," and da da da. I had never even met their mom, nothing. I described her to a T. Even said, "Look, she was on this bed. She passed away. She ended up in the floor right there." And they're like, "How in the heck did you know that?" And I'm like, all this is shown to me, and this is what she wants to say, and it's just like, but I'm like, I just want you to know that this scares me. And I tell my sister, I'm like, if I did this for you, because like she died very unexpectedly, the mother did, and so my sister was like, begged me, please, 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 you have to help them, and it took me a little while, but I did, and then I was like, please just don't ask me to do that anymore, because it just I don't know, I get so scared.
Baby, why do you get scared? I don't understand. I don't understand the scared.
I don't know why. I've always been scared. Like my whole life, I have been so scared every time I see spirit.
Okay. Well, I would take a minute and look at that, because I believe that this is a gift, not a curse. And I think maybe if you sat with it just a little bit, maybe, you could see, of course, when I was a kid, I held my breath. I covered my head. I ran and jumped in bed, covered my body. I was one of those. So I understand that. But it sounds like you have quite a gift, hon, and it's something to be celebrated, not something that should, well, I can't say that it shouldn't scare you, because it does. But if you could find some peace with that, maybe you could see what your gift is giving others.
Yeah, I've that's what I was trying to do. Like I've been looking and stuff like online or whatever to see if there are like books or something maybe to like help me get more comfortable with it, because so many people have told me, "Oh my goodness, I would love to have this gift." And I'm like, I get it, I understand it, but for some reason I can't help but to choke up and like try to run as far away as I can.
Yeah, I respect that. And also, one thing too is if you're experiencing like senses of anxiety, are you feeling anxiety? Is that what making you want to run?
Yes, it's like the fight or flight kicks in. It's like very anxious, very anxiety, and it's like go.
Okay, let me explain something to you. We move in an energetic, like our bodies and our energy moves like this, okay? When a spirit moves, it moves like this. So when you're in their space, they grab you and they start moving you at that faster rate. That's a way of communicating. But for humans, it feels like a panic attack. It's also why we get the pricklies, or we feel that the weird feelings on our head, is because we're starting to lift off and start vibrating at their frequency. So maybe, honey, your fear is just a sign that someone is around.
Oh, maybe. Because I get like burning, like it literally feels like my feet are like not touching the ground, but they like burn.
Ground. Yep.
Yeah, you got to ground, honey.
And
yeah, I bet you if you just learned a few techniques, honey, like grounding down and understanding that they're just communicating, you would feel so much better. And if I can help in any way, you just let me know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right there.
You're welcome, honey.
Thank y'all. Have a great night.
Roger. You too.
Good night, honey.
Bye-bye.
All right, next on the list was Outside the Lines. This is our friend. Hi, Outside the Lines. Where'd you go?
Hi. I had to unmute myself. Hi, everybody. I loved listening to this. I'm still doing my nursing work for the day, and I clicked on and everything I'm like, oh, this is let me get in there. So what I love is Sarah is so 100% on in the stuff that she's saying. This is the three groups of people: the people that don't care at all about this subject, the people that want to fast track, be a medium, and then the people who are a medium and don't know what to do with it. And what people want to do is they want to buy the fastest way there. If you want to be one, there's no fast way. You guys, this is all inner self, inner learning. So like for Georgia Girl, this is all going inside, grounding, finding out how you ground, which is again going to go into meditation. I'm always going to say meditation of some kind, even for a few moments, which is grounding, right? And catch your bearings. And, like me having it since a child with what I thought was an imaginary friend. That's what my parents called it, but really it was a lot of different people. I had the same thing. My parents and family do not come to me. It's not a thing. And it's meant to be like that. It doesn't even feel like it's a thing at all. I think when you reach for that and you realize it's not happening and you keep reaching, there's a reason it's not happening. It's time to just surrender and let it go and move on and start focusing on you. But I'm telling you, everybody, all I do is self-care. If you take care of you, all of your gifts will come out. If you're not going to take care of you, or you're going to half try and do it, it just doesn't work. You've got to be completely open, and all these energy spaces that we have to be open and ready to go. And if you don't understand energy, which is everything, then that's going to be an issue for you. And it's not hard. You don't need to buy the $1 million books. You don't have to take the $1 million classes. You don't have, and everybody's going to tell you, especially the people who are looking to make money, they'll, really push you into, hey, take my $3,000 class and you're going to be a medium at the end of it. I'm like, wow, $3,000. Holy cow. And I'm going to be a medium. And when you really want to be a medium, you want to do it. But if you find, like Sarah has classes and groups, I have groups, and they are really essentially just soul people coming together to help each other figure it out. Like Sarah's got all this awesome, like, this is what's going on. And then when people start putting it together and it comes together, they're like, whoa, wow, I understand this so much more. And then someone will say, this happened to me. And then you understand it more because someone else is giving their stories. But energy is the biggest thing. If this is all blocked, like, perfect example, if you're with a narcissistic partner, good luck. It's good luck unblocking all this stuff and having it be open, because that's what happened to me. For 25 years, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't talk to people anymore. And then the minute this heavy energy left, it just flooded in, and I thought, oh my gosh, what's happening now? This is like too much. What's happening? But I was clearing my energy and taking care of me all of a sudden. And I'm like, oh, because we'll all say we're taking care of ourselves, but 1 minute once a week is not enough. It's got to be every day. Wake up, start your day that way. Like Sarah said, grounding is huge. For the people who are up here all the time and not touching the ground, you ground. For the people who are trying to get up there, you just have to meditate so you can start getting up to that space. But it's all energy. And Sarah's answers are so right on. I was like, oh my gosh, she's brilliant.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart.
So, yeah, you guys' questions are awesome. And here's the thing, there's no right or wrong. It's spirituality. There is no encyclopedia book that for everything that someone says, someone else is going to say something different happened. It's okay. Whatever your experience is your experience. Take it, run with it. What works for you, take it. And don't second guess yourself and say, well, this big medium says to do this. No, do what works for you. But Sarah, you blow me away tonight, man. I came in at the perfect time and I'm like, oh, Sarah, you're so good. You're so good. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Sarah's so good. Okay.
Thanks. Let's see who's up next. Actually, Sarah. Another Sarah is on next. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Sorry. Hi.
How are you?
I am good. I am not working tonight, which is nice. I'm a nurse at a hospice, and I've been having some experiences lately at the deathbed. They'll still be breathing, but I feel the soul leave.
Yep.
And it's gotten to the point where, like, I hear them, and I've always had this experience, and I've hopped on. When I'll put up an iPad and put it on the TV and put on Scotty's lives for them. And they've actually connected with a couple. One I know was really powerful, and I still remember that one. But I hear them in my head, and like the other day, there was all the family around, and this person passed away. And their chest was still breathing, and all I heard, and everyone's crying, and all I heard was, balls. And I just stopped, and I was like, out loud, and I didn't realize it was coming out of my mouth. I was like, balls? and the family just stared at me. They started howling, laughing.
Yep.
And they're like, he says that nonstop. I'm like, good. I'm glad we're all laughing about this. So I know for me, I just have to remember to.
That's funny.
Yeah, you weren't. Thank God they had a good sense of humor. Like, thank goodness.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful, sweetheart. The work you do. Thank you for the work you do. I mean, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not easy work. Sounds like, more and more, there's this idea of telepathy and the idea of communication without words, right? And so that energy being in the room with you, you're picking up on the telepathy, you're hearing it in your head, as they are transcending or shifting energy. And there's a lot of times where in a reading, I will actually say, oh, no, they heard you, but they weren't in their body. And they'll say, but their chest was still moving. And I say, respectfully, I understand that their body was still reacting, but I can tell you who's in the room because they're outside their body showing me everybody in the room. So I think, that's beautiful that these spirits, these people that are, shifting energy, trust you enough to communicate with you. And that's Sarah, that's something.
Sure is.
I appreciate that. And I like to think that I go into it with the respecting them and the process and their wishes. And
clearly, honey, clearly.
I mean, I don't think I could do what I do if I didn't have respect for that and the process that they go through, and the family. I try and do my best. I'm just going to have to learn to keep the inside thoughts on the inside.
Well, sometimes that's going to happen. So I say go with it, because it was definitely a gift to the family to go from a moment of mourning into memories, honey. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, great job. It's okay to go with the flow. It's all right. And sometimes we actually may not have a choice.
Nope.
There's been a couple times in my life where I just am like,
blah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Like, sorry. I hope everything I said was right, because I couldn't hold it back.
Nope.
Well, I know the people here are looking forward to next Monday for the live readings and tuning in and watching. So thank you for everything as well.
You're very welcome. Thanks for always being here with us. I appreciate you.
And the gifts that you give them as well. I know they really appreciate it. So
thanks.
You guys have a great evening, and thanks for letting me on.
You too. Thanks for being on. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Next we have Bambi. Hi, Bambi, if that is your real name.
That is my real name.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm playing. What's up?
I want to apologize ahead of time if my question seems rather silly compared to everyone else's tonight.
Not silly.
So I have a friend who we've been friends since elementary school. I'm 46 now. Her and I have always seemed to have this sort of psychic connection. I'm talking anything from dates of deaths in the family, new jobs, new boyfriends, etc. I've tried to have this kind of connection with others, and I can't. I don't have it. So I guess I'm just curious, how do I tap into being able to do that, or is it not possible?
Again, I think it has to do with fear and safety. So with this person, you probably feel pretty safe to have these interactions that are metaphysical, that are, different. And that, yes, I do think, though, that sometimes we just have special friends that we don't need words because we already know. We know they're going to call before they call. We know they're hurting and they're crying in the bathroom on the floor right now. And so we call them and say, what are you doing on the floor? Get off that floor and get into bed. I think we have that with, and it grows with those we feel really safe with, because we're not worried about what they're going to say, right? So, but I do think also that if you have that skill with that person, you can develop those skills to use in other situations. Yes, that's my answer, is yes, for sure.
Okay. All right. I want to thank you both for everything that you do. Scotty, I found you about a year ago, and you've really touched my life, and I just want to thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. That means so much. That is so nice. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Great question, by the way. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have next? Maud Jennifer is up. Hi, Maud Jennifer. If that is your real name.
Hi. It is not my real name. There actually is a question from the chat. Does meditation work if you fall asleep every time you meditate?
So meditation is the act of. Meditation is a practice. It's like fishing. You not fish. You don't get fish. You go fishing. So meditation is difficult for many of us because one, we're tired. We work hard. We go. So when we go into meditation and we're like, I'm out, like sauerkraut. I'm sleeping. So active meditation can be very helpful. And one thing you can do is you can have an object that you stare at. So you stare as you're doing the meditation directly at the object so that you're alert and awake. Also using mudras, where you bring your fingers together in a mudra. The reason you do this is because you're pressing in a space that keeps you awake. So doing something like this will help you stay alert. That's also why they suggest you sit up and you're in a posture that is a flexed posture so that you don't just fall asleep. But meditation isn't as easy as people make it. It's just not. And it's, but using one of these techniques can be very helpful to get into a place of meditation without falling asleep.
Okay.
You want to hear something funny? Albert Einstein used to meditate, and what he would do was he'd hold a rock in his hand and he'd sit up in the chair and he'd meditate and let his mind drift. And the way that he would keep himself engaged is because he would feel the rock slipping.
Yep.
He would grab it and hold on to it.
Yep.
So
Active meditation. Yep.
Neat, right?
So that was the question from the chat. My question, really quick, is I experienced a tragedy in 2021. And then when that tragedy happened, my senses, I've always been very intuitive. But as soon as that tragedy happened, within minutes, it went from I would say 40% to 100%. And ever since then, it's just growing and growing. And I actually met Scotty 3 months after the fact, and he made me realize that I actually had gifts and I did not know. So I've been with him for a really long time. So I was wondering, was that the act of was that the experience of it growing, the act of the tragedy, or was that just my time to open up?
No, so sometimes we advance. Maybe I should say we advance with our spiritual gifts when there is a tragedy. The reason being is because we expand really quickly in the pain and we're able to sense, feel, hear, whatever. Also because our hackles are up. But then when we already are gifted and that happens, for some reason, I wish I had the answer, honey. I don't know exactly why. But our gifts will grow. We become stronger in them very quickly. Sometimes it'll happen with death or divorce or, just something big in someone's life creates the space and it happens.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for answering.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. But so are you, Scotty. You are both wonderful. Love you both.
Thanks, Jen. Let's see. I haven't really been keeping track, but I think Chris might have been up next. If Chris is still with us. Chris is our guitar playing punk rocker in the band.
I try.
What up, dude?
How's it going, Scotty? Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, honey.
So forgive me. My words are going to be a little bit jumbled because I'm spooked. I'm kind of having a little bit of a paranormal experience of my own right now. But I recently had an experience I wanted to ask you both about. So I'm not a medium. I'm a paranormal investigator. I like to go ghost hunting, but I've never had an experience like this, and I wanted to see what you guys think about it. I was at my house late at night scrolling TikTok, as I'm sure we all do. And It was something I saw out of like the corner of my eye when I put my phone down. I actually saw like in the light from my phone, the flash from putting my phone down. A loved one of mine that passed away a couple of years ago that I was very close with. I've had like dream visitations and things like that in the past from this person, but I've never physically seen them like as like almost like an apparition in like I was conscious, awake. I saw it clear as day very quickly, and I've never had an experience like that, and I don't know how or anything as to why that could have just randomly happened, or if it was something that I was unconsciously doing.
Well, when we're scrolling on Facebook, this is going to sound weird, but it's a meditative state that we're in. We're very calmed. We're very soothed. We're not really pulling in any information. We're just like, and that becomes meditative. It really does. It's where we go to relax. And all of a sudden we're really relaxed and we're in that vibration and frequency that allows us to open that door. And then the lighting is very important here. I don't know about Scotty, but myself, lighting can make it easier for me to see them or not see them. And if you have the glow of your phone and you look up, sometimes you can see in the shadows, you can see energy. And it's the only way I can explain it. So I think you're in the perfect place at the perfect time, doing the perfect thing to be able to see your loved one, honey. So I think it's absolutely beautiful.
I mean, no, it was just one of those crazy things where I've been wanting to hear from them because it was very sudden. I've been wanting to hear from them, and I had been asking them to actually go and talk to Scotty, and that was the night that I saw them, which was it was an experience, and it was I consider it to be a very positive experience. But
yeah, man, they cut the middleman out. They said we don't need.
I was just going to say the same thing. They're like, why go to Scotty when I can go to you?
Yeah, man, they were just waiting for that moment when you were, just like Sarah said, in that meditative state. The lighting was just right. You're calm. You're relaxed. You had already been thinking about them and asking them to come and see you. And you were asking them to come see me. And they said, we don't need that guy from New Jersey. We'll just come see you right here directly. And that's what they did. And that's the best gift that there is. I love that.
So is this a cousin brother energy? Is this a cousin or a cousin of yours?
No.
Okay.
It was actually my grandmother's mother.
Oh, great grandmother?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
We were very close. She died when I was 18. So.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
And she came and saw you, honey. That's beautiful.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to run, but thank you guys both so much. That was
thank you, Chris. Bye, honey.
Chris is so nice. I've had the pleasure of meeting him in person. He is a good dude.
Yeah, kind soul.
Yeah, he is. Let's see. Who was up next? Emily H, perhaps. I might have muted her. Here we go. Emily H, are you with us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep. There you are. Hello there, Emily. How are you?
This is so weird. I've never done this. Good. This is so fun. So my question is, how do you find out who your spirit guides are? Is it people that you know, that you are related to, or just could it be anybody?
So personally, this is a personal, I think everybody has their own way of looking at this. I believe that your spirit guides are born into the planet with you. Your primary and secondary come in with you. And so they can't be loved ones because they are going to be with you at all times through that time. Now, I do believe loved ones can be on your spirit team. So it's not that you're not on their team and they're not over you and helping you. That's not what I'm saying. But spirit guides tend to be those who haven't walked on this planet this time around because you are here and they are there to keep a watch over you, to keep you healthy, to help you along your way and guide you and lead you. And I think it's a very personal thing. I don't think anyone should tell you who your spirit guides are, because I think that that's a very, very intimate relationship.
Sarah, can I interrupt you really quick? This is really funny. Maybe a year ago, I was doing this thing where I was helping introduce these folks to their spirit guides.
Oh,
and but listen, this is where it got funny. My main spirit guide stepped in and he said, "Stop that." He said, "That's not your job, and you're not going to do it." He's like, "You talk to all the dead relatives you want. You do Akashic records, but you do not step in that space." And I was like, "Okay." That's remember, funny. I don't know who was here with me, and I was like, "They told me to stop. I'm not allowed to do it anymore. It's your job."
Yep, it is. It's just really a personal thing. So yeah, getting to know them and getting to know how to work with them. And the best way is meditations, automatic writing. These type of skills are very helpful in getting to know your guides, because they want to know you. They really do want to be able to communicate with you.
Okay, that's super interesting. I have felt both of these people, my grandmother and my great-great-grandmother, died before I was born, and I just have felt a very, very strong connection to them, and like where they've lived and wanting to feel really close to them. So I just wondered if that's a possibility.
Yeah, because they were not on the planet when you were on the planet. So yes, they could, they could. But usually they're on your team. They're still going to interact with you the same as a guide is going to interact with you, because they're on your team and they're out to help you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys have like do you guys both have a pretty intimate relationship with your spirit guides, where you like feel like you can talk to them and you know them? You know what I mean?
I do. I feel like I know them well enough. We have conversations. Mark, one of my spirit guides, he's very funny. And he's always telling me he'll be like, "You can try that, but you're not going to do it." Like, he's very funny. But Gillian, who is my primary spirit guide, is amazing. She's incredible. But I wouldn't say like they're constant. Like, I don't like turn my head and all I see is my spirit guide. I'm not constantly driving with my spirit guides. I'm not eating dinner with my spirit guides. So it's more like, "Oh man, I don't know what to do about this next job. Should I take it? Dude, I don't know how I'm feeling." Then I go right to my spirit guides. I'm like, "Guys, bring it in." If I pull a card, I ask my spirit guides to be with me so that they can help get me the best information. But I don't they're not they are constantly with me, but I'm not constantly in communication with.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, very good. I love it. Yeah, my spirit guides aren't all up in my business. They're usually a little whispering in my voice, and they're like, "That's a bad idea.
Yeah,
don't do that." And I'm like, "I'm gonna do it anyway, though." And they're like, "We know."
That's true for me too.
Yeah, every once in a while I listen to them when I'm supposed to. But no, just like Sarah, whenever I'm doing something big, or sometimes I'll get an inkling that I'm going to do a reading that I would consider like a heavy lift, lost children, really, or somebody's really in mourning over somebody really special, really special, and I'll feel it and I'll say, "All right, guys, I'm going to need we need A.
Come on in. No bring it in.
Right. So that's when I ask them, and that's probably once or twice a week, I'd say, but they're not always, yapping at me. And I don't know if this is Sarah's opinion, it's kind of mine. Anybody who talks like that is probably facing some mental health stuff, or they might be just making it up for attention.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, Sarah and I have we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, somehow we do. That's true.
West Coast, East Coast, same people.
That's right.
Right? All right, MDH, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Before I ask anybody else up, Sarah, are you okay on time?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't know. Usually there's just an hour, but I don't have work, so we can go a little bit longer.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, if you want to go a little longer, sure.
You're the best. All right, so I have 2 more people up on, and we'll ask them on and see. I think we had Green Eye next. Green Eye. Do you really have green eyes? Let's find out. Green Eye, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. How are you?
Okay, yes, I really do have green eyes.
Fantastic. Not
me
catfishing.
Me too.
I have kind of a strange question.
Sure.
every night, ever since my mother passed away in 2015, every night I dream about people who have passed. They're always in my dreams, every single night. And my mom is there every night. And then there'll be others along with her. And I'm wondering what that means that they're coming to me at night.
Well, I think one, when we do have connection with loved ones in our dreams is because it's easier because we're in a place of acceptance. The one thing I would ask you, honey, is, you know, are you, do you feel like these dreams are helping you heal? Do you feel like you're being able to, are you feeling you're progressing in life, or ever since your mom has crossed, do you feel like you can't move forward?
No, it's definitely making me heal because I look forward to going to sleep at night because I get to see her.
Okay, that's beautiful. So if that's where you're at with it, that's awesome. I think it's beautiful. And again, it's easy. And also you now know, this is a big one, when we know how to communicate with them, that's the easiest way in. I'm not going to use a bunch of energy to run upstairs to talk to Scotty when I can take an elevator, right? And so this is an easy way for them to get in, be able to still be a part of your life, and they don't have to be honest with you, use a lot of energy. So this is an easier way, I would say, to communicate, and that's probably why they're doing it. Plus, you know what they're doing.
Okay, yeah, because when I tell other people that I see dead people in my sleep, they kind of look at me like I have 3 heads.
Yeah, it's the way it is.
But it's been great. I mean, my father's passed on, my stepmother's passed on, and I see all of them. I had a really good friend who passed on. I see all of them. And
yeah, that's really awesome. That's a great gift. And it's even unlike Sarah and I, they don't bother you during the day. So that's a win-win if you ask me.
Yeah, they definitely don't bother me during the day, just when I'm asleep. It's beautiful.
As long as you're getting a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I am.
Excellent. Thanks, Green. I appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you guys. You're both awesome. I watch Scotty every time he's live.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Sarah, you're awesome. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Canadian cat lover, you are up.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Scotty.
Hello.
Okay, so Scotty probably already knows, but I've always had gifts. But when I was a teenager, I had to block out seeing and hearing spirits because it was way too much. And ever since then, I haven't been able to like open back up and let anybody in, even though I've tried meditation and everything. And no matter what route I went when it came to the meditation, it just does not work at all. And to be honest, ever since Scotty ended up doing a reading, he brought my dad through. Which was ironic because he always thought I was crazy and ghosts didn't exist, spirits didn't exist. But every time a live would happen, I would say, okay, y'all know I can't hear you. Can you please go through Scotty? Because I would always have a ringing in my ear. Not necessarily a ringing, but like this odd sound would happen in my left ear all the time. And then once Scotty brought my dad through, guess what? The ringing stopped. The ringing stopped. So I'm definitely convinced that it was like my dad trying to get through to me, and I was just blocking it out, not hearing it.
But sweetie, you did hear it. You did hear it. That's what you need to understand is now your dad has a way of connecting with you as long as you agree, because that's an agreement. It's an understanding between you and the spirit, right? So you now know that when your ear rings, one, if it's blood pressure, make sure you see your doctor. I'm not a doctor. Don't play one on TV. But two, if you hear that, you know it's your dad, and that's you growing. Do you understand that? That's you coming back. So you're coming back. He's teaching you. So he taught you that night that ringing in the ear means dad. Done. That's the agreement. So now when you're thinking of something or something happens, the ringing in the ear, yes, dad, then open up because dad is communicating, right? So you are absolutely reopening. It's just, I think you're just a little confused because it's happening. That's what you're doing, is reopening.
Okay, because when I was telling my son how, his papa came through and everything, the ringing started again. And I jokingly said, okay, Dad, you had your 15 minutes of fame, but I can't hear you. So can you stop with the ringing? And literally, like, that was the end of it. That was it.
Right. But the reality is that's connection. That's how
connection.
Scott and I can't speak for Scott. I work in a way that you have to understand every single thing has a meaning. Even a ringing in your ear or a twitch in my nose or a pain in my right toe has a meaning. So not always is spirit communicating like everybody thinks spirit's communicating me and Scott. It's not like they're just sitting there going, well, today I would like you to tell them. It's not always that way. We're having to read many, many different signs, symbols, and trying to make it make sense. So it makes sense to you. You're doing it, honey. You're opening back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll share this with all of you. I've never talked about this before, but what you always ask me if I have anything at work that I use my mediumship for. I always tell you no. That's not completely true. I don't ask for this, but somebody on the other side, maybe a guide, who knows. If I'm sent to an emergent call and it's not coming across that way through the radio, but it is in fact like life or death, spirit will rub my cheek so that I know and I pay attention and I get there with the utmost important, and I didn't know that. It took a couple times for me to realize that that's what was happening. I thought maybe my cheek was just getting itchy because I was, under stress or something, but nope. Every time I put them together and I was like, oh my God, every time I have to go to like one of these really important, crazy calls, I get this brush. So now I know. As soon as the call comes out, if it's not coming out correctly or there's something more to it, pay attention, Scott. Something else is going to be happening.
So now your touch to the face is a ringing in the ear. Oh, it's Dad. And so pay attention to what you're thinking, what you're feeling in that moment, because Dad is trying to communicate with you.
Okay, because I've been trying to open up to, because really there's only one more person I would ever want to hear from. If I can do a real quick, back history of how I knew things were happening, and I mean quick, because I don't want to take up anybody's time. When I was younger, so under the age of 10, it would start off with smells. So it would be like a tobacco that would smell like cherry, or I would smell lily of the valley, but there is no lily of the valley around. And then once I hit the age 10, literally, then, for example, one evening, my grandmother was passing on. And I said to my mom, the phone's going to ring. It's about Grandma. And literally the phone rang, and it was the hospital saying that she had passed on. Mm-hmm. And then when I was 12, I had 2 spinal surgeries that lasted 16 hours. And I had passed during that surgery. Mm-hmm. And when they brought me back, after that, that's when it was, oh my gosh, it was spirit galore. It literally, all day, all night, coming through, talking to me. I'm seeing them. I couldn't stop. And by the age of 15, I don't know how, but I blocked them. And that's when it stopped. I'll still see things that will come to fruition. But I can't quite access speaking to or seeing spirits and then being able to block it again. And I've tried so much.
I think that, I work with many students. I've been teaching for the last 13 years, and a lot of my students are exactly where you're at. Where it was very active when they were younger and now not so much. And, there's many, many reasons. It can be from computers to cell phones to the way we interact with each other. I think it's beautiful because you're explaining subtle energy. Subtle energy is smells and tastes and things like that. And then you're taking us through your story and you're showing us how you then moved into denser energy. And so just think of it as you've kind of gone back to the subtle energies, but you can absolutely get back to the denser energies if you work with your gifts. You know, it's just like, I can't run, not even if you chase me. I cannot run. So
me either.
Right? But if I worked out, I could run. Right? So your subtle energies need to work out so it can get into denser energies. And I think that's really where it's at.
Okay, I thought maybe it was because I had like 3 strokes like 8 years ago, and I'm like, well, maybe the brain just doesn't want to brain anymore. Like, I don't know. But,
No,
okay,
it can, but it can also bring you closer and make it easier. So to be honest with you, you can go either way with that.
Okay,
you know
awesome.
What I just
Thank you so
told my wife
much.
this morning, that right on that subject is, you don't know this, but yesterday, whatever, the last 24 hours, I was like deathly ill. I don't know what happened. I was so sick. That's why I look a little tired right now. I was so sick, and I tell my wife every time, I'm like, when I get sick like that, the filters are all gone.
Yeah.
And I'm just in bed, it's like everything. And it's almost maddening. It's like, because and it's not anybody's fault. It's just because, you know, we block and we know when to turn on and off. And this is just like open when you are sick and all the energy is going into physical healing and there's nothing to block. Man, it was
gosh.
24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a tendency of getting sick often when other people aren't feeling well. So I guess being empathic, yeah. So no, I prefer not to have that. Like, I don't like that at all either.
Agreed.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, you're so
You were
welcome.
absolutely wonderful.
Thanks for being such a great supporter here, by the way. I appreciate you.
Oh, my pleasure.
All right, who is up next? I believe Autism Awareness Warrior is here with us.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
You probably might struggle to understand me because I slur a bit when I'm tired.
Oh, I thought it was because you're English or something.
I am English. Yeah, I've been following you for like 4 years now, Scotty.
Oh, I know. I recognize you.
Yeah, I had my first ever card reading from you about, I think it was just before my mum passed away.
I'm sorry.
My mum passed away in 2023 in April, and I've had 6 near-death experiences before that, prior to that. And when I was younger, I used to see, hear, and feel spirits, and I still see them standing at the end of my bed when somebody's about to pass away. I actually see them standing at the end of the bed. So wow. It's kind of crazy, really. But the other day, I was thinking about it, and I figured out that I predicted my mum's passing 5 days before she passed, because I said to the ladies and gentlemen at the hospital, I said, this will be the last time we'll see you for when she went for a treatment. And it literally happened 5 days later, she passed away. So it was kind of sad, really.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So, but yeah, I've been seeing a lot of shadow figures around my house recently, around my pictures of my family and stuff, because we lost my grandma in 2018, we lost my granddad in 2019, and then we lost my Uncle John in 2020, and then we lost my mum in 2023, all the same family.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That is a lot of tragedy.
Yeah, and then I've just suddenly lost one of my best friends as well.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a struggle recently, but I've been working really hard to develop my skills again, because I've been taking some time out, obviously, to heal myself.
Good.
I've just restarted doing my card readings again and things, and helping a new medium develop as well. So,
all right, make sure you're all healed up first, though. Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to do this job when you're not 100% for yourself. But it is
I feel good now. I still see I've got a shadow figure that hangs around on my stairs. It's been hanging around for a bit, but I can't quite tell who it is.
Okay. So I think the meaning of shadow figure, I think maybe you and I see it a little differently. So you see your loved ones in shadow form, is that correct?
No, I see them as clear as you and I when they appear to me. But this shadow figure, this is something new. I've not seen this before in the house.
Okay, so just I wanted to clarify. Because my understanding of shadow figures is we want to be more alert and careful with that energy, not as welcoming with that type of entity or energy. So, I mean, it sounds like you know what you're doing. I just wanted to check real quick with that.
Yeah, I've saged the house and I've put my crystals around the area where I see it a lot. And it's still there, so I'm not sure if it's... Because usually I see a shadow figure. I know I'm probably not explaining it very well, but I usually see a shadow figure before somebody's going to pass away.
Oh, like a harbinger. That's what I would call that. Just
so I like to see
that's different then. Okay, thank you. Okay,
I see this shadow figure, and then I find out that a family member or a friend or a family member.
Okay, so it's an omen. It's an omen for you. Okay, got it. Sorry, I thought we were talking. Okay, great.
So just like you were talking about the ringing in the ear or my brushes on the face, when you see a shadow figure, it seems that you know that somebody's going to pass. Now, here's what's interesting to me is I've never been given the information of somebody going to pass, and there was anything I could do about it.
No.
It's always like really bittersweet to know first. So it's okay, and it might just be a precursor to help you deal with the tragedy that's ahead. And it's a time for you to take a step back and reflect and just be okay with the outcome of the things that are going to happen next.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is, because in the past, like what I said about my mum, I literally knew like 5 days before she passed that she was going to pass. So I literally had this... I had like a hot flush, like on the day when I went to pick her up for the last time from the hospital. I went really hot. I had like this hot flush that ran right through my body. And I found then like on the Monday, it was the hospital. On the Wednesday, she started to deteriorate. And on the Friday, she passed away. So it was like quite quick, you know. And then she passed before I'd even got to the house when my brother rang me to say that she was she was deteriorating more. I literally walked into the house 1 minute after she passed and I saw her standing on the stairs. So I didn't tell any of the family though, because they don't really believe in it, you know.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of us are at, hon. But it sounds like you have a clear understanding about what's going on. And so, you know, like Scotty said, just taking some time to honor the information, because there's really nothing you can do about it, hon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not related to any of my family because I'm adopted. So I think what it is even though my granddad didn't believe as such in it, he did actually have an experience when he was younger where him and his friend actually hid in like an old church, and in the church there was it was like all the lights went on suddenly in the middle of the night. This was about 3:00 in the morning. All the lights and the candles lit themselves, and this priest walked into the middle of the altar and started saying mass.
Interesting.
And then the priest basically said, this is just a story, obviously, that he told me over the years, but this priest, this ghost, he thinks it's a ghost anyway, but this apparition that he saw, said, is there anybody there to say the mass? Is there anybody there to say the mass? And a bedridden nun walked in from the convent, because it was a convent school, walked into the chapel and died in kneeling on the next to the altar. And
okay.
And it was quite. It's quite a well-known church in the UK, and I've actually visited the church that he told me the story about, and I've actually knelt in the same spot, and I've felt her there. I've just like felt all the energy around that spot. And I got asked, obviously as a medium, asked to go along to the church and clear the church of the whatever energy it was, and they were very grateful because they just couldn't clear the energy. So
interesting.
And they also work alongside. Scotty, you're a police officer, aren't you?
Yep.
I work alongside the police in the UK as well. I help with missing persons.
Nice.
And I help find the missing people, and I've managed to successfully find 30 lost souls while I've been doing that. So.
That's amazing. Good job.
So I've been doing it since the age of 8 years old, and then I've only like when I was 16 I started to really focus on it. And I found my first 3 people that had gone missing and had passed away when I was 16, and then I've continued working through that through the years. Now I'm on my 30th now. Missing person case, and I'm just working through a case at the moment with a charity as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's really special work that you're doing. I appreciate that. Very good. I'm glad that the law enforcement on your side of the pond is open to this sort of thing.
They weren't initially, but then when I badgered them enough, they let me come along and see if I could help.
Love it.
And the funny thing is, whenever I go near dogs, like the police dogs, when they're doing cadaver searches and things, I literally, they literally just do anything I want them to do. They calm down, right down. I don't have any issues with the cadaver dogs.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you so much for sharing everything with us, Autism Warrior. I appreciate it. And thanks for being here for 4 years. That's awesome.
Yeah, I followed you since I saw you on the Shanley Hotel from Sam and Colby.
Sam and Colby, that's right. They did.
Yeah, I've been following Sam and Colby for 8 years.
Nice. I'm sure they appreciate it. So thanks again, Autism Warrior. I appreciate you very much.
No problem.
I think you're going to be our last caller for tonight. I'm going to take that and say us. There we go. Thanks, Canadian Caliber. I'm sorry, Autism Warrior. So there you go, Sarah. How was your first round of Q&A with my fantastic audience?
Thank you so much for having me. That was awesome. It was a lot of fun, kept me on my toes, and I think they asked a lot of really cool questions.
Yeah, I'm glad you were here to help because they had some heavy ones that I was not expecting.
It was so much fun. I'd love to come back and do it again sometime. It was great.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get back into that kind of thing. I definitely need some backup around here. They have a lot of heavy questions that I don't always have the answer for, and I'm like, I have to go find an adult to ask about this. I'm not So everybody make sure, if you're not already following Sarah, I'm sure you are, make sure you follow her. And when you see her TikToks, make sure you share them, just like us. Comment, like, and share all of her stuff so that more people here on TikTok can see her. All right? Sarah, thanks again for being our guest here, and thanks for answering all those questions with such grace and poise. I appreciate you. For our subscribers, remember tomorrow night at 9 p.m. is subscriber-only spirit-led mediumship reading, so be here tomorrow at 9 p.m. for that. All right? Okay, good night, everybody. Thanks again. I appreciate it. Sarah, thanks so much. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Scotty.